You are now listening to Shoot the Shit with your hosts, Seany Caulfield and Sal Licata. Enjoy the show. Woo!
Hey everybody, this is an exciting time. You're here with Sal Licata, the guy, the man, and Seany Caulfield, your Major Mark's favorite Major Mark. And we're here today on our first episode of Shooting the Shit with Seany and Sal. Hi Sal, how you doing today, brother?
Good, Seany. This is exciting, dude. I mean, we talked about doing, I've wanted to do something like this for a long time because as much as, I get to talk about sports on TV and radio, I don't have an outlet to discuss what we both love, figures, the podcast, more importantly, and recap kind of what we take from that or just give our thoughts on collecting and different things that's going on. So I'm glad you were willing to take the time and do this with me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was so I was shocked, honestly, when you reached out to me. I was like, I grew, not really grew up, but I've listened to you and watched you on TV as a Mets fan for so many years, and it's my pleasure to be here, and I'm super excited to be able to have that outlet, like you said, and to be able to talk about things that happen in the group, things that new toys that come out, and
right.
How many people do we know outside of the pod that we can talk about that with,
Right. No, I mean, outside for me, I text with Brian a little bit, but usually when Brian and I talk and we become friends, but we don't generally talk about figures. Occasionally I will.
Yeah.
He'll hit me up about something with the Mets. I'll hit occasionally about something with the figures, but I don't really have that outlet. And you're right, there's nowhere to turn. My wife doesn't give a shit about it. My friends at work don't my wife doesn't want to hear about it anymore. My friends at work don't care about it necessarily. So I figured, why not team up with you? Because you caught my attention with all the shit that you've been doing in the pod, in the Facebook group and the Patreon. So I figured we could have some fun doing this.
Yeah, man, I love it. So I let's go into it. I mean, let's talk about how this kind of got started, right? Let's talk about how you met the boys and I met the boys, and I guess let's start with what besides obviously having this creative outlet, what made you really think about me as a co-host?
Well, like I said, you caught my attention. I'm an OG. I've been in the original Patreon. I've been listening basically since day one. So, I thought, I just assumed that you were, but I guess you were not, which it was a little surprising to me. But you've caught my attention with all of the stuff that you did. And to me, you have a unique, fun personality. That's what caught my attention. I thought maybe this is somebody that I could get along with and work with here on this stuff. Now, what got me into collecting was I started listening to the Conrad Thompson podcast. And there was a promotion on there, a commercial for the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was thinking, oddly enough at the time, oh, Zach Ryder, he's from Long Island. I wonder if he's like a Mets fan or if he watches. Not even thinking that Brian wears the fucking blue and orange. And I should have known that he was. And then one thing led to another, and I started DMing with Brian. He found out that I was a fan of the podcast, and I found out that he was a fan of the Mets and SNY, and then we became friends. But listening to their podcast got me into collecting and taught me the right way to collect. And I've fallen in love with it. It's been 3-4 years, whatever it's been. It's been great. So
it's been 4 years. They just had that 4-year anniversary pin,
Now, how did you get into it? What got you started?
So I got into it. I told this story a couple of times on the MWO, but I want, people should know again. So I got into it. I was out of wrestling since 2003. When Stone Cold and The Rock left, that was it for me, man. Those were my guys. I always wanted to be Stone Cold. Who didn't, right? Go tell your boss to go fuck off, right?
Right.
Who doesn't want to be that guy? And The Rock always had that charisma. I wish, imagine if you could make a wrestler out of both of them and just put them into one person. It would be like a mega superstar. But anyway, I got out of wrestling. All of a sudden I'm watching, it's April of 2021. the baseball season just started, and I'm watching Mets highlight videos, and I'm watching, and suggested videos pops up. Brian opening the starting lineup figures. He had like,
Right.
he got. I don't know if you remember, Sal, but he got all of the ones that he didn't have, and he
I do
opened them up.
remember.
Yeah, and I watched that video, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like it said somewhere like WWE, and I'm like, this guy's a wrestler and he's a huge Mets fan. So I hit that, and bro, I think almost like fucking like $60,000 later, we're here.
Dude, well, that's the thing, and I don't know if you know this, Shawnee, but I was the one, and there is proof of it, because if you go back, I wish I got to take the time and go back and listen to the original, the early pods.
Yep.
But I was the one who came up with that phrase. I tweeted them, and then Brian said it on the air. The most expensive free podcast ever, because dude, I was spending money left and right.
Yes. Bro, you are spot on. When you told me that, I was blown away, because I always think about that in the back of my head. Like when I'm pressing like PayPal, like, like pay,
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh my God, like whoever made that up is a genius. And it was you.
And it was me.
Know?
No, I know. And I know there's been a book about it since, or whatever, that's titled Most Expensive Free Podcast Ever. But yes, I didn't trademark it, but I came up with that. And by the way, I came up with it before the pod merch. Like,
yes.
it was not about them selling their own merch at that particular point. It was just about all the shit that I was starting to collect because of them.
Yes.
And I was hoping, I was like, oh man, you guys gotta create your own figures and thinking all those things. And obviously look at how far the pod has come in 4 years. It is legitimately the only podcast that I listen to every week. And I listen to it early with the Patreon, but I know a lot of people have different podcasts. That is it for me. That's the one and only. Every week for 4 years, I've listened to that podcast, and I love it.
That's amazing, bro. I'm the same way. Like I didn't even know what a Patreon was. Like honestly, like I was listening to April to September. September 12th is my 1 year. I'm gonna do something special for that day. But like I can't believe it's been a year since I've been in the group. Number one. Number two is, like I just like I was like, what is a Patreon? And then all of a sudden, like just listening to it was amazing. But then you have like the community, and like and like you said, it's not even the boys. It's like when you see other people posting, like I got that, I got this, I got that, and you're like, oh, I need to have it, even if you don't need it.
Right. Sometimes, right. The FOMO, exactly. And like I said, and I want to get on to some of the topics that we want to hit.
Of course. Yeah.
This week's podcast and the group here. But like I had some old stuff of my own. I went and collected some old stuff, even from, like I said, listening to the Conrad podcast, which got me itchy for some old LJNs, but I was getting them in bad condition. Like they legitimately taught me how to properly display stuff with stands and detolfs, that you have to get stuff that's, if you can afford it or whatever, that you should get stuff that's clean and mint, as opposed to just, beater figs or whatever. So I always had it in me to be a collector, but I had no idea how to properly do it. And I blame those two guys. The amount of money I spent on those damn figures. It's insane what's going on with this podcast, but I love it. And now we have an outlet to talk about it, so let's get into it.
Bro, your collection, Sal, I'm not even like, so Hasbro's, anything like under 98, because I really, it was a short window I watched, right? So it was the Attitude Era from 98 to 2003. That was it. Like you are like what, like a Hasbro guy? What do you collect?
So it's funny because we kind of balance each other out here. I'm like 85. The way I'd always say it, I was into wrestling from like 86 to 92, roughly. Okay. So that's the area that I generally want to collect. Now, at some points, like you said, certain things happening, like, oh, that could be cool. Like the new ring, which I know we want to get into here in a few minutes. Yep. That's something that is not my, area, but it seemed pretty cool. So I forget I go into, but basically 85, 86 through 92 is my wheelhouse. LJN and Hasbro are my two favorites.
So even though the new gen ring is from that time,
afterward.
So what
I would guess that the new, now I say 92, I might have gotten out, let's say mid 92.
Got it.
But
Got it. Got it.
Monday Night Raw, I never got into Monday Night Raw. Like that
Got
was
it.
just, years later I got back in occasionally. But I'm talking about after I got out in, say, mid-92, I was out for a while. So the new generation stuff, that's probably right after I got out.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much to talk about. I mean, what do you want to start with, Sal? I mean, like, there's so many.
You had a list of stuff. I said, all right, Shawnee, send a list. I get a list that's like a book report about the podcast, for goodness sake. I mean, just narrow it down to a couple of top things. Look, we want to do an unboxing. We both received the Mattel Retros today. I have it. I ordered into work here. Got this little box that we're going to.
Yep.
How great was that, dude, that you could order it and then boom, ships that, a week later, not even.
I mean, it was, I love that because I think as like collectors, we're so used to the pre-order system and not being ready for a year and accepting that, right? So when even the boys with the bendies, right? I love the bendies,
Right.
And the boys have started to do that as well. Like when you pre-order, you get it in a month or so, not like 3 years,
Well, dude, that's part of the issue. And look, we'll have plenty of time over the course of the weeks to talk about like this Power Town stuff or Toys. I forget all the shit that I've ordered from Ringside.
Me too.
With the the Mega Powers. When all that stuff came out in the last whatever months ago it was, a couple of months ago, like I went nuts. But now I forget what I ordered. Toys, Zombie. All this stuff, these outstanding orders, it's hard. So I love when boom, something pops up, buy it, have it shipped.
Yeah,
so
and it's the price point, right? For 4 figures, it was like, I mean, come on, like you can't beat it.
And I'll tell you, dude, that I am starting to sell off, and that's a whole nother, like you need a whole nother podcast to talk about selling stuff.
Yes,
it's so much more difficult than you would think. You buy it, it's easy come, and then you would hope easy go, but it is not. It's a pain in the neck to get back. Forget about making money. You don't want to lose money on stuff.
Exactly.
And it's shipping and finding the right spots. But I've learned that I want to just keep it tight with LJN's, Hasbro, and now the Mattel Retros are obviously an extension of that. So I'm going to get the ones that I grew up, these guys that got released, the Hart Foundation, Jimmy Hart, and the Russian wrestler, as you said, called Nikolai Volkov, Shawnee. How do you not know who Nikolai Volkov is?
What did I call him? Nickov? I called him Nickov, I think I did.
in the pre-show notes, you texted me, Jimmy Hart, Bret Hart, The Anvil, and some Russian wrestler. I got to look up the name.
See, this is why people are going to love this podcast, because it doesn't get realer than this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
let's start, Shawnee. Now, do you have notes that you want to get into about the podcast, or you want to go with the generation ring first?
I mean, let's go with the generation, and then we'll get into the podcast after that. Okay. The generation ring, I mean, I got 2 of them, right? And we were talking earlier, we might do a giveaway ski and spread it out of my second one. We're not sure yet, but we're going to do something like that if you subscribe and like and all that stuff. But I mean, it's just unreal. Like people were complaining though that it was too big, the ring. But it's like you can't get everything that you want, right? Like, if it was too small, if it was a little bit smaller, people would say it's too small, right? So, but the Doink, I mean, that figure is literally figure of the year candidate. Like,
so I only ordered one, and I don't know if it was about FOMO or what, but as I told you, I'm starting to sell off a little bit. So I opened it just to take pictures to try to sell, thinking it's not my wheelhouse. Yeah. But it looks fucking cool. I want to play with it. I don't want to display it. I want to play with it.
Yeah.
But I figured, maybe better off selling, although everybody's trying to sell it now. So I haven't even opened it to a point where I've seen the figures, although I've seen plenty of pics of Doink and the Kevin Nash. And you've displayed it already? You opened them up?
No, I didn't. So I've only seen it. So I have both of them in the box still. I haven't touched them. But obviously from seeing all the pictures and stuff, it's amazing. It's the entrance for me. I mean, come on. Like, you know what I mean? And the Macho. So I personally collect Macho. He's one of my guys. And I just needed that Macho, and a good brother that used to be in the group. So they were $250 plus shipping at retail. He ended up selling them to me. He had 2 of them for $300 each. He gave me the brother deal of a lifetime.
You didn't even get it on the original release?
No, because I wasn't in the group. That was August.
Wow. Dude, so you're that new?
Yeah. So I just missed it, bro. Like literally by half a month, I missed it. But like I heard there was a lot of like chaos in the group at that time because people were Broski was telling people it's a great investment, blah blah blah. And one thing about Broski is he always says what he feels, and I love that. But also people don't have money like Broski to buy 11 or 12, right?
Right.
So it's a little different, but he's absolutely right. It was an investment. People, maybe you're not making $1,000 on it. Maybe in a couple years you will, but people have been flipping them for without the macho for like 450. So
Right.
you're still making $150 on something like a quick flip. Once you get it,
I bought it without, like, I didn't buy it intending to sell or make money. I bought it kind of out of FOMO. Brian's like, dude, you got to get this, back it. I thought the macho would potentially be cool. I'm an announcer, so I love the announcer stuff.
Yeah.
Even though that was still I have a little memory of him as the announcer in that particular outfit or whatever at that time, even though I was out of it by then. But just because I changed my mind in the year that it took to get here as far as what I want to collect or not, that's why I tried to sell it. But everybody's trying to sell it in Flipper right now. So everybody, I don't think it's the proper time to sell.
100% Sal. And that's the thing that people don't realize is when you buy something to flip it, and when like people like Matt are giving you advice, he's not saying just flip it right away, like, so. And the thing also about Matt, which I need to say, is that he puts his money where his mouth is. Like he went and said, like, this is an investment. So he bought 11 of them or whatever, So I like that. I like when people give advice and they take their own advice,
He's next level, like, insane.
He is.
I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do? And I'll tell you, like, what are you gonna do with 11 of those things? I'll tell you this though, one thing, and dude, this just shows you how crazy collecting is. Years ago, when the original retro rings came out, he was saying the same stuff. They were talking about, buy these rings off of Amazon. They were $20, whatever, $25 shipped. And it was to a point where I started to believe him. And I was like, all right, this is going to be a good investment. And I like, stacking the stuff, use them to make customs, which were big at the time.
Yep.
So I bought 5 or 6. I forget what it was, whatever. And then, like, I had them. They're taking up space, made a few customs, sold a couple. And then, dude, years later, you can't get them and they skyrocket. And I'm thinking, damn, even knowing that I've gotten burnt from years of not holding on to stuff, something as simple as that, not understanding that even in a year or two, the value would significantly go up on those damn retro rings. And I lost out on that too.
Absolutely, bro. And that's what happens. It's like people are so impatient in life in general, and they just don't know. Like, obviously, if you see people, and what happens is people start undercutting each other because they want to get rid of it, and they're like, I spent $300 on this thing, and I'm seeing this guy sell it for $500, and no one's biting, and then he goes for $450, and now everybody's losing. So.
Right. So I, for me personally, I listed it a couple of different times, kept coming down because I just wanted to get rid of it. But now I'm thinking, fuck it. I might as well just keep it and I'll play with it. I don't care. It wasn't about the money. I'll just check it out and see what I can do with it. Maybe have some fun with it.
I need to see pictures of you playing with it. I need it.
But doesn't it look sick? Like, that makes
it looks amazing, bro.
I said once in the group post, I think, to Broski, or at least he repeated it once on one of the podcasts, that the adult version of playing is organizing and reorganizing. Yes. And I love that shit.
That's so true. That's so true.
You want to sit there and play with the stuff, but obviously as an adult, a lot of times you're not going to do that. But I love reorganizing. But with that ring, that makes you want to. It makes you want to be a kid and play with it again. I think it's a great product.
Absolutely. I mean, do you think, like, most collectors, I have like OCD, ADHD. I mean, do you think most collectors have some sort of OCD in them? Like,
I know I do. And I think that there is 100% something to what you're saying, because even dude, it's been a mental battle.
Yeah.
And with stuff I don't need, or buying extras. Oh, do I need
2
sets? Do I need 2 sets of retros or 2 sets of zombie toys? That's a mental battle that, there is something going on there. The organization skills, knowing that you don't want to miss out, the FOMO, all that. I do think there's something to that. And I've tried to get that under control, because I think it's unhealthy if it gets out of control.
Yeah. So let's talk about Whatnot, Sal. So I watch Whatnot every Monday. The boys go on at 6:30 usually, and a major mark posted in their group I'm spending too much money. I gotta get it on hold, And I messaged them privately, and I said, you have to stick to the rules. Like, you can make certain, like, I found this out myself, so that's why I'm giving the advice. Because when I came in, I saw everything for sale, and I was like, I need everything because I don't have nothing, and I felt like I was playing catch up, but I was really only doing myself a disservice. So I realized, like, and then when everybody sees you buy stuff, Sal, guess what they do? They hit you up when they have something for sale.
Right.
So it's like everybody's like hitting you up, and you're seeing all this stuff. And I got to a point where I'm like, I have to make my rules. So my rules are Major Pod or Friends of the Pod and Macho Man. Those are my rules.
Okay.
And I have it. That's it. I have exceptions like these, right?
Like, well, then what are you doing with the retros?
So I do what. So what I started doing was, now I get the heels and faces, right? And I'm like, wait, but the retros go perfect with the heels and faces,
right?
So I need them because I have the heels and faces, so I need the retros, and the retros are reasonably priced. If they weren't $50, I wouldn't have got them. So that's why. But like I said, I think people don't feel pressured, guys. Like, I promise you, nobody cares if you buy something or not. So
perfect example of this is, even for me with LJNs, which I love. I listened to the pod. I didn't even know that there was a variant of a no stars Macho Man LJN. There's no stars on his trunks, right?
Okay.
And then they're Broski's talking about it. No, you need that to complete, or the no stripes B. Brian Blair figure.
Got it.
These are expensive, rare figures that, like, only a real collector, like, nobody who comes and sees my collection would have any idea what that even is.
Yeah, they're not gonna know. Yeah.
And I don't even care necessarily about it. So because, though, my mind is so nuts in, like, oh, well, I need to be a completist, or I have to have this, the mental aspect of it, I ended up selling them. We're like, fuck it, I don't care. Yep. I got my complete collection. They're ridiculous variants anyway. Get some of that money back. So you're right. Things like that where it could get out of control, where you start thinking, I need this or I need that, even though you really don't. You need that.
Remember, it's our collection. It's your collection, right? So, how many people come and look at my collection? Not really anybody, right? So remember, like, don't feel pressured. And I just need to give that PSA, because I think a lot of people end up spending money they don't really have,
Right.
And I hate to see that. I hate to see when because I love the group. I love everybody in the group, and I really don't want anybody to be put out by that peer pressure,
Especially now with all the different options. It is, as they always say, it's a great time to be a figure collector. Something is going to be in your wheelhouse.
Yes.
You cannot have it all. You cannot have representation for everything. Like those damn Funko Pops. I started having a couple of them, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But, dude, it's endless.
Endless.
It never ends.
Yep.
I had to stop that shit. And I'm like, and I get, like, if you love it, that's your thing. That's great. But there's no way to do everything.
Yeah, 100%, Sal. I agree. But Whatnot, like, so the boys, they go on Whatnot, and Whatnot is kind of like, I've done a couple shows, and it's really exciting. It's the bidding aspect, right? Because you're bidding against somebody. So I think what happens is, like, say something is on the market and you could buy it for $40. If the boys sell it, it's going for 120, right?
Right.
And like, nobody thinks about that in the moment because they're pressing bid, right? And it's like exciting, and you have Matt cheering you on. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just exciting. So, I mean, it's good, but that's how that's how the boys make part of their living. It is what it is. You can't hate them for it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think it's cool. I haven't checked out all of them, but I've seen some of them. Yeah. I like watching it more so than being an active.
Me too. I started to just realize, like, I don't want this, like, most of this stuff, like, I don't like ringwear gear. So, like, everybody knows, like, I'll pay $100 for them to rip their shirt, right? So, like, that's what I do now. Like, I collect.
Now, why? Why is that your thing? What about that?
It's funny. Like, one day, like, Broski was like, if we get this to $100 or $200, I'll rip my shirt for everybody and I'll send it to you. So now I got Dylan Hornswoggle's shirt ripped. I got Ethan Page to do it. I got Broski to do it, and Danhausen, you're next, sucker. You're next. But yeah, so much has gone on in this wrestling week, Sal. I mean, this AEW stuff is just like, I mean, I've never been a fan of CM Punk. I've never been a fan of him. I think that it like he said things before about his fans, like, oh, who would buy sweaty trunks? Like, hey, is he right? I wouldn't buy sweaty trunks. That's not my thing. But I'm not gonna judge you for it, right? You know, if that's what you like.
You wouldn't buy sweaty trunks, but you buy ripped
I'll
shirts.
buy a ripped shirt, yeah.
Right. So to each his own. Like I've never been a fan of I've never really been a fan of CM Punk's anyway. But again, I've in and out of the wrestling in recent years, but I do pay attention to some of this newsworthy stuff that's been going on. Yeah. And he just seems like a guy who, I don't know, is a bit of a dick, no?
Yeah, man. Like, he was like talking like it's his company. He's like, you know, I'm trying to run a business here. And I'm like, what? And Tony Khan, if you watch his face, he's just sitting there like a little kid. Like, and I'm like, bro, like, I get being kind. Like, there's nobody that's kinder than me, like pure hearted. Like, I like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it like I really like, I have a kind soul. And like, I've learned very early in age that you have to let people know that there's a line, that you can only be kind so much until you got to lay the Lord down, because people got to know they can't fuck with you, you know?
Right. Well, because you don't want it to be mistaken for weakness, obviously.
Exactly. And people often take it for a weakness. And I always say it's my biggest strength. You know, look at me, like I'm a nobody in a podcast group, and in 2 months, thank God, you know, with Matt and them all posting about me in the picture, I got over, and it's amazing, and I love it, and I love everybody for it, you know. But that doesn't have people literally thought that I was like ribbing them. They thought I was ribbing them. They thought that I wasn't really nice when I first joined the group, because other people were doing that. They were joining the group, pretending to be nice, giving stuff away, and then they were and then like being mean after, you know.
Yeah, no, look, your personality has come through to me in the group, which is why, you know, like I said, I reached out to you. I thought that you have a unique personality and you're a nice guy and all that stuff. And you do a lot of charitable stuff. I did think at some point you were going to turn heel. You start
people are waiting.
You're eventually going to piss people off and rub people the wrong way at some point.
I already have, you know, but it is what it is. I can't make everybody happy, and
that's the thing. You never can.
I never can. As long as I'm myself and we're true to ourselves, that's all I care about. And
so off of that, I know you mentioned the CM Punk stuff, and like this podcast is going to be about us shooting the shit, just about all these different things that are topical in the Facebook group or in the collecting or whatever. You know, more from the podcast, because that's what we listen to and love and want to have an outlet to discuss it. The controversy that seems to never stop in the Facebook group, it is tiring. Like, I don't really pay attention to the current wrestling stuff, so I don't even understand it, but I learn about it through the group. But man, these posts, I just don't get it. Why so much negativity? Especially, it seems like lately there's been a lot of negativity in the group.
You know what it is, I think, with the negativity, we're so used to having like a positive group, and when something negative happens, it's magnified because it doesn't happen so often, right? Like, when you really look at it, right? Like, the negative posts are like 1 out of 1,000, right? But in our heads, and from other people making it a bigger issue, it becomes a bigger issue now. And I think more people see it, and they're like, hey, now, like, this group is like it's filled with controversy, like you said. And I don't think, you know, I disagree with you. I don't think that it's filled with controversy. I just think that, people want attention sometimes, and they seek it out in the group. And we're not used to, like, especially me, when I first came in the group, it was so positive. Like, I loved it. I'm like, oh my God, this is my oasis. Like, I belong here, you know? Right. But I mean, what do you think about that? I think it's magnified, you know?
I do think that's what's great about the Facebook group is people have an outlet, right? That's why we want to do this podcast, because for me, it was not enough of an outlet. I love it, and I love sharing pictures of my collection and talking to other people, or seeing other people's collection, how they display stuff. I love it. But when you start getting into, opinions of stuff that have nothing to do with figures,
yes,
that's where, and even opinions on figures are controversial, whether somebody's shitting on zombies figs or whatever, or something else. Not everybody's going to be happy with that one, or guys ripping the boys for certain things, the prices. Like, I never understand that, but that's just me. But you're right. I think people want an outlet. They want their voice to be heard.
And everybody should have their own opinion. Like, I don't agree with just like deleting posts and like that stuff. Like, I don't agree with that. Everybody should be entitled to their opinion, as long as they do it respectfully. Like, if you are really not being disrespectful and you're just trying to get your point across, that is totally okay with me, even if I don't agree with you,
Right. You're eventually going to become a heel.
Hey, I've been seen with Sunil a couple of times, so everybody's getting ready for that, But
dude, I can't wait to talk to you like after the live shows and all that stuff. I think it's so much fun, especially for you who goes to all these. I still have not been to a live show, and I'm dying to go. I want to go in Orlando so I can go to Disney.
Bro, Sal, we gotta get you to Orlando. Bro, Live 11 was my first live show. It's the best live show I've ever been to this day. And I've been to like 4 now. 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is going to be my 5th one in January. Something about the tin roof, Sal, the way it's set up, it is like a venue. So there's a stage, and then there's like round tables all over the place, and then there's a bar. So it's like the perfect venue. So after the show, we sat around and hung out with Matt and Kevin Nash for like 3 hours after. And it was like the time of my life, man. I'm so bro, this is why I'm so excited for the podcast, because like I started to do a vlog after the live show.
Yeah.
And I realized I was like, the vlog is not enough for me. I need to I see other people like the boys talking about how great it was, and like I'm part of that greatness, so I want to be like saying like how great of a time I had, and I'm so happy we could do it. And I really hope you come if you can, if your busy schedule allows you to.
The problem with that weekend, as a matter of fact, I remember last year that I invited Brian and Raleigh Allen. You know Raleigh Allen? He
yes,
over
the security, the major pod security.
Yeah, head of security. I love Raleigh.
I love him.
He's a great guy. We've become good friends. So I had him over. Brian was supposed to come, but he got snowed in.
Oh.
In Orlando.
Oh, yes. Because I got home the day before it snowed, bro.
Right.
They stayed the weekend.
He had to end up staying because he got snowed in. So he couldn't make it, so I was stuck with Raleigh alone. But the problem with those weekends are that it's like usually playoff football.
Oh, that's true, bro.
What's the exact date on it?
They didn't give an exact date yet, but Broski said that it's on a Saturday, and it might be the second week of January. So that's what they said, but they didn't like give the official date yet.
Right, so it's probably going to be football playoffs, but either way, I'm sure there will be plenty more, and I get why they
for sure. Even we did the New York hangout, Sal. Like I was like I didn't know, like we spoke, but like I didn't really speak to you at the time. But,
I know, and I've been talking to, like, I'm friends with some of the others in the group. I've met DCA when he was in there. I'm curious to know what the hell happened with him, why he bailed. But I've talked with La Puma. I've talked with some others and DM'd or whatever a little bit. I have to get out to one of these live events. I'm looking forward to whenever that may be. I'm looking forward to my first one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who. Like, I remember thinking like when the DCA stuff happened, like, oh man, I wish I would be an admin, but bro, you couldn't pay me to do that job. I feel, bro, and it's a thankless job, and I feel so bad for Billy sometimes because I know Billy is such a kind person, and I don't agree with him all the time, and I tell him, and we speak about it cordially. But like, it's just I'll just speak on this quickly, but I really feel like it's such a thankless position, and it puts you in a tough spot,
Yeah, that's a thankless job, but it is cool to be a part of the group, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast family, right?
Absolutely.
So,
100%.
All right, Sean, you're looking at here. We're going to do the unboxing. What do you want? Anything
else? Let's do it. Yeah, let's do the unboxing, bro. Yeah. So let's do it.
Anything else from the pod? Now, how do you want to do this? We both open them both up, or you want to we split it up 2 and 2?
It doesn't matter to me. What do you think?
I don't know. Let's see what we got here.
Somebody got 2 anvils. Did you see that?
No. People have already been opening them up?
Yeah. And they posted in the group, they got 2 anvils instead of 1 Brett and 1 anvil. They got 2 anvils.
Now, what are you doing with your second set? Why'd you buy 2?
I bought 2 because I really am a mint on. I was never a mint on card guy.
Right.
And I have to say now I've become one, because what happens if I want to sell the set? I need it to be mint on card. Because
that's the thing. And then you start getting to 3.
Why? So I only keep it 2. I only keep it 2 because, or unless I'm doing like a giveaway, I'll buy 3.
Dude, this is so sick. I love this. Not only because it's my wheelhouse of the actual wrestlers, but the package takes you back. I mean, it looks like Hasbro. I love. To your point, I would not be into the retros. Matter of fact, I had all the original retros. I sold them and kept just the older guys like JYD, Iron Chew. Actually, I didn't keep them. I had to go back and buy them typically.
Got it.
But this plus zombie figs, perfect. I can't wait, and I'm waiting anxiously here to order these the giant the 200 the giant figures, the King Kong Bundy.
Oh yes, yeah. He said it came out today that the Danhausens are almost ready from Heels and Faces from Zombie, and the Series 2 pre-order is going to be up soon for Zombie. I have that hat. My grandma had that hat, bro, growing up.
Dude, that Russian guy, Nikolai Volkov. Come on,
bro. I swear to God, Grandma Caulfield, she wore that hat to church. I swear to God.
Now, I will be honest. I don't need. Are you going to open it or no? You're keeping it on card?
No. I'll open it. Yeah. Are you going to keep yours on card?
No, I'm going to open them up. Okay. I don't know about right now. I mean, I could open it up. Yeah, what the hell?
Oh man. Look at this Brett, bro.
When I first saw that, I thought that the heart was way too high, and then I went back and looked at pictures, and it is in the right spot.
So it is okay. Yeah,
I thought that it was because in my mind's eye, I remember being a little lower than it seems like that's up by his chest, but it's accurate.
Do you remember, Sal? Is this the same action that they had when they were made?
What do you mean?
Like, does the figure have the same actions as they did when they were made?
When they were made, when?
Because these are just like old figures, right? Or no?
No, this is a new. These.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This hat does not come off, by the way. I don't think. Does it? No.
No.
All right. Break it.
Oh, let's do it. Let's just rip it. It hurts my soul, but I got to do it. Oh,
I could have done without the Volkov. I mean, it's cool though to pair with the Iron Sheik, but there's so much Volkov stuff.
You gotta put one guy that's not gonna sell in there, right? So
right, I guess so. Plus, I hate the new movements. No, so yeah, these are the same movements as the recently released retros from Mattel. Not like the Hasbro.
Not the Hasbros. Got it.
Right.
Look at the Hitman on the trunks, bro.
That's sick.
That's really cool. I mean, they're just simple. Great figures.
They've done it perfectly too with the 4 at once in the box that it's in. I love it. I'll keep these cards. I don't have to keep them on cards. But
imagine getting one of these, like running full speed at one of these things.
now, like, did you watch the Heart Foundation ever or no?
Yeah. So I went back and I've watched a lot of them. A lot of matches, a lot of I've done my research.
I love this too. You look at the card.
Yes, the card.
To have that, right?
Oh, yes. Good. I didn't rip it on the...
Gorilla Monsoon dubbed the master technician Bret Hart the excellence of execution.
Jim does the tilt. Look at this one. He looks like he's doing like the Bill Simmons workout. The Gene Simmons.
That's a sick figure. See, this is the one, Shawnee, that is the big one because, You never had Jim the Anvil.
So it fills in the collection.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you didn't have the Hart Foundation in particular, but you had Bret, solo Bret. But you got the Anvil where he ended up teaming up with Coco Beware, was it? Yeah, where they were I forget what the hell the name of the tag team was, but
got it.
High Energy. I think it was High Energy.
Look at this.
You get the
wow. This is
I didn't necessarily need a Jimmy Hart figure either, but
this is the Jimmy Hart that Broski had, right? Like he had the one that this is the unreleased one.
No, I don't know. You're talking about Greg the Hammer Valentine?
Greg the Hammer Valentine. Yeah, yes, sorry.
Right, the Rhythm and Blues Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yes, I'm sorry, bro. Yes,
dude,
thank you.
This figure is sick. This Jim the Anvil Neidhart figure is sick.
I love the open mouth.
Anvil on the pants, the glasses, the open mouth, the body movement that they have here. I forget what they call this one here, but this is perfect.
It says it on the back, right?
The Anvil Slam.
It says mash opponents with the megaphone. Oh, look, see, look at this action. It like hits you with the megaphone.
That's cool. Volkov, whatever. Anvil, dude, this is a 10 out of 10, this figure. They nailed it.
Yeah, you're right. Anvil is definitely... Even the Jimmy Hart, bro, look at the face.
Yeah, that looks good.
And it's just like, it's so... And then it has the back. I mean, it's just great. Like, it's really... really, I give this set like a 9 out of 10 in general, you know?
You have the first set too?
Oh, look. And this comes apart, bro.
Oh, it does? It comes out?
It comes out. It's like, look, it's put together with like that piece of plastic. You see?
I got to open that one next.
Yeah.
Bret Hart. I don't love Bret's face, but nobody ever loves Bret's face in the figure aspect.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yes. How come they never get the sunglasses right? Like, I just don't get it, you know? How hard is it to make a pair of shiny sunglasses?
These are beyond sick. I love these figures.
These are awesome, man. These are like, it's like, how could you not get these for $50? I mean, it's just
now,
like
Jimmy Hart. He looks too like the upper torso is too thick. I'm not one of these perfectionists. Oh, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
I get it. It's like Mean Gene, but it's still too big. Jimmy Hart was a scrawny dude. Like, this body is a little too big for me.
Oh, I'm Jimmy Hart. I'm out of the South.
Oh yeah, it's tied in, so that does come out. And the color of his skin looks weird. I don't know. It feels like it looks weird, but this is sick. This is great.
I think I heard something, Sal, that there was like a black Jimmy Hart figure. Did you ever hear about this?
Yeah, the original San Francisco toy maker.
Bro, like, what were they thinking, bro? Like, what? Oh, bro, you're right.
How sick is that figure?
Oh my gosh.
That's a 10 out of 10.
This is the highlight of the set. 100%.
Hitman, the Hitman's cool, but we've had plenty of Hitman Hasbros. Like,
yes,
just go with the Anvil. Jimmy Hart. It's cool to have the manager. I'm not knocking the making of him, but the figure itself is whatever. Yeah. This Anvil is sick. That's a 10 out of 10. Right?
He looks like a mom that's like working out. Like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
You're sick.
Oh man, that's
all right.
Wild.
Well, that was.
I love unboxing stuff. Isn't it the best? This is why we love toys, bro.
It is cool.
My wife.
I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home at what time? 6 a.m. in the morning.
Oh man, brutal.
Put these back. Put these in their right place next to the zombie figs, next to the old retros. Put Volkov with Sheik. Did you get any of the original retros or no?
No, I didn't. So I only got the Macho. That's it. That's all I got. And I also have the Macho LJN as well.
Okay.
Because I like I said, I collect everything Macho. But
mint on card or no?
No, Lucy.
Ooh, I got one of those, Shawnee. If you want to.
Oh, we might have to make a deal, Ski. But yeah, bro, this is my wife asked me one time, her mom and dad. We went to Florida, and I went like I was like, hey, I gotta go meet my friend Matthew Balk, who he's a major mark. He actually designed the Stone Cold belt. He was the first person I met, a major mark. He was the first major mark I met, and I was in Florida at my in-laws, and we went fig shopping, and I came home and I had all these figs, and my wife is like, "Why do you?" She's like, "Do you collect because you didn't have it as a kid?" And I said, "Absolutely," because I didn't have any of these things as a kid. I had like a Vince McMahon bone cruncher, and like
Right.
that's it.
It was cool for me to go back and collect stuff that I had as a kid and stuff that I would want as a kid, but just didn't get it. You're not,
Yes,
you don't have
yes.
the money or whatever the reason may be. You're not, don't know how to get access to complete the collection. So
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a hard time standing the this guy, the
the
Nikolov?
Volkov, yeah, Nikolai Volkov.
Nikolai Volkov.
You're sick. Yes, because of that stupid leg kick. I hate that.
Yes, yes. That's the only negative, guys, that I see from this set. Really, is that it's hard to stand him up in a good position because he kicks.
The anvil is sick. This was worth the wait.
The anvil was for sure. I would have paid $20 for just the anvil.
Right. But I
But
do love the way they do it, and I'm looking forward to the next couple of releases too.
yeah, I love it too. FWF is in October. Are you planning on going to that, or?
I don't think so, because again, it's a football Sunday. I did go to the first ever FWF live. I was there when they recorded it.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
But I don't think, I believe it is a Sunday, right? October
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I think it's October 9th. What is October 9th, Sal?
That is a Sunday.
It's
yeah.
a Sunday? Yeah. So just so people know, Sal, explain to them why. Because you're on SNY, you're on WFAN.
Well, I do. Right, I'm for a living. I do sports talk, so like football Sundays are really non-negotiable. Like even I tell my wife that, and plus that's playoff time too. So I don't know. I mean, the Mets and Yankees both going to be in the postseason.
Yep.
So I can't. I already told my wife keep the calendar clear in October because.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. October is going to be a crazy month for me. So that's why, yeah, football Sundays are tough because I need to watch these games. And I do love to do it. But I would love to go to one of these live shows and hang out. And, man, the Orlando one is always tempting just because of I would love to hang out with the boys and, with you guys and go to Disney. Go hit up and have fun doing that.
Broski was talking, we'll wrap it up soon, but Broski was talking about how he was thinking about maybe having this extra deal that he'll charge whoever wants to do it, like the first 10 people who pay $100 extra, or he just said, like, that's not said obviously, but he said he's gonna charge, they might charge some major marks, and they will go around to like Disney and stuff like that, go get drinks, like kind of like a private like tour, and get to hang out with the boys as well, like privately.
Yeah, see, that would be cool. I love that they do that. They're so accessible.
They're so accessible, man.
That's what makes the pod cool. You don't feel like you feel like you're a part of it.
Yes.
You don't feel like you're just on the outside looking in. They make it's all inclusive. They make everybody a part of it.
100%, and that's why you're right. That's why we were talking about, like, hey, like what is going to make us a success, right? And it's being relatable and consistent, right? And those are the two things that you really need to make a show well, like do well,
Yeah, and we need to organize a little bit better next time going in the show.
For sure. But I am super excited that we got to do this, Al, and I'm so excited for the future episodes because I know we're gonna crush it, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, honestly, besides you. And I just want to say to the major marks that I love you, and I just want to say thank you for watching this and supporting. Please make sure you like and subscribe and follow us wherever, whatever links I post, make sure you follow. Sal, you want to end it out?
No, I mean, I just think this is episode 1, and we hope to continue to get better and grow it. This is a passion project for both of us. I love it. Just shooting the shit with you for an hour. Keep it simple. We'll be more structured, maybe moving forward. But basically, the idea is talk about what's going on in the collecting community off of listening to the podcast. That's what it all bases off of. We love the podcast. We listen to the podcast. and we go from there. And stuff that they talk about on the show, or stuff that is, you know, relevant in the collecting world, off of that, we can get into all that stuff, and whatever topics in the Facebook group. Even if there's some wrestling stuff, whatever that may be, sports collecting stuff, if that happens to pop up, then just shoot the shit about whatever, Shawnee.
Yep, I agree. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We love you. We hope you have the best day. Remember, you are always loved, and that's it. We're out of here.